Good day and welcome to our online training center. In this video you will learn how to create a supplier. We will create the supplier by creating a BP first. But before we start, make sure you have the following set up already. Supplier category, accounting codes, price lists and statistical groups. Once you're logged in, go to Common Data, BPs and BPs. Click on New, select the category, Supplier Category Selection. We will choose South African suppliers. Enter the BP code. In our case it will be SUP001. The short description will be the same as the BP code. And the name, which will be in real life the company name, we will make it JERA Training. Select the country of your supplier and enter the language. Enter the currency for that supplier. You can also enter the site tax ID number if you like, the EU VAT number or the SIC code. When you scroll down, you can choose the supplier to be an inter-site supplier. This means the supplier will be one of your sites and the sites will be able to do transactions between each other. You can choose any of the other available tick boxes if you like. In this case we will leave all of them blank because we want to select supplier at the end of our BP creation. So let's go to the addresses tab. Enter your address code. We'll make it 01. Description, it will be a physical address in South Africa. Description will be 123 Smiley Road, Boksburg, and the postal code 1459. City will be Boksburg. You can enter the website if you want. Let's make a training at jera.com, and you can choose this address to be your default address or not. Let's add a postal address and make it our default address. PO Box 234, also Boksburg 1459, Boksburg. Website if you want, otherwise you can leave it blank, and we'll make this our default address. So on all the invoices and transaction documents, this address will be a default. You can enter telephone numbers of the supplier if you like, and other email addresses. Let's go to the accounting tab. The accounting code is already selected because we chose our category as a South African supplier. In the category you specified that the accounting code linked to that category should be local, so we will leave it at local. You can enter the rest if you want. This is not that important, so we won't spend much time explaining what needs to be filled in here. The bank ID, you put in the bank ID of the supplier. Address, so this is our default address. You see, it's already pulled through. So let's make the bank number 123456789. It's default, yes. You can add more than one bank detail if you want, but this one will be our default details to use. Currency will be ZAR. It's not a customer. Paying bank, let's make it FNB. The beneficiary will be Training JERA. No paying banks, no big code, no intermediary bank. and the country code will be South Africa. Let's click on the Contacts tab. Let's put our contact code in. This is our first contact. It will be Mr. Make it Cooper. First name Peter. He's the CEO. You can put in the department of this contact person, the role, language, date of birth, category, address, anything you like, all finer detail. Let's put in the email address as cooper@jera.co.za, and you can enter a telephone number, fax or mobile number. This will be our default contact. And let's click on BP/company. The company will be ZA10, seeing that we already created a site in this company. Customer tax will be ZA-DOM for domestic. Payment terms will be check 30 days date of invoice. No discount from the supplier. The accounting code is local. This we already selected previously. Authorized entry will be yes. Cash excluded, no. And there we go. Now you can click on create. If you are happy with all the fields entered in all the tabs, let's click on create. The BP is now created. Now you select on the right list whether you want this BP to be a customer or a supplier, a carrier, a sales rep or a prospect. In our case, we want to click on the supplier. Click on new. Type in the category and it will automatically bring up our latest created supplier. When you tab through the fields, you will see that the fields will fill automatically. And when you scroll down, you will see there's nothing completed here. Take note of the supplier. Let's click on the addresses tab. Note on the second address that this is still your default address. Let's go to the commercial tab. In the commercial tab, you can enter more detail of the supplier. For instance, the ABC class will define the supplier as a frequent supplier or not so frequent supplier. We will leave it at class A. You can enter a quantity of minimum orders. We will make it 100. The supplier wants no less than 100 items to be ordered. You can enter at the receipt section all the location, the carrier, the delivery mode, Incoterm. You can choose whichever one you want. Let's make the delivery mode by rail. And it automatically choose free carrier as the Incoterm. You can change it if you like. Let's say free on board. Okay, there's no discounts, and on the reports you want the order form, return slip and the receipt note. You can enter the template code if you have it. Let's go to the management tab. It's a normal supplier. The credit control will be on check. The authorized credit for the supplier, let's say it's 5,000. The rate type will be a daily rate. No matching tolerance. If your company makes use of matching tolerance, you can enter this. And the statistical groups you can select. Remember, this must have been set up previously. Let's make it, this company sells bikes. So it's bike. There's nothing set up for supply statistical group 2. And in Africa for the statistical group 3. Let's click on the Financial tab. The Invoicing BP is your supplier. The supplier group, this supplier belongs to the supplier 001 group. The risk BP is the supplier because you have to pay them. There you enter that. Here your default address comes in. The accounting code is local as we selected earlier. And the payment term we selected will be check 30 days of invoice. Tax rule is ZA DOM for domestic. The amount type will be exclusive of tax. And the analytical, we won't be using that. And let's go to ranking. Ranking is still a tab that needs to be fully configured by Sage, so we will skip this tab. Bank ID, we already entered the bank ID. And the contacts, your contacts already entered. So if you're happy with all that's entered in all the fields, you can click on create. Remember, you can come back and change something for your supplier, but it will not change on the purchase orders or anything. It will only be changed here. You have to recreate your purchase orders then. So let's click on create. Record has been created. Well done. You have created your first supplier in Sage Enterprise Management. If there's any questions, please feel free to contact us at support@JERA and we will be happy to assist. Goodbye.